fragrance friends, welcome back to the channel. Today I wanted to do a declutter. I was watching Carmen Centrics and that was a great mental prompt for me to actually pull out this box that I had underneath in my glam room that I had decluttered a few weeks ago, well, a couple of weeks ago or a week ago, whatever. But I had made room for new and incoming fragrances and basically just removing the fragrances that I'm not really feeling anymore, or it's there and it just sits there, and even though theoretically I like it, I never reach for it. So there's no point keeping something I'm just not absolutely in love with, especially when I have so much more that I actually reach for and utilize. And if you guys watched my perfumes of the month video, or if you're familiar with any of my perfume videos, you see that I literally use my products. I use my fragrances. I don't just let them sit there for show. I love to use them. So for me, there's no point in keeping it there. And I'm trying to figure out, I guess I would need to start a Mariah account to sell this. But one thing I want to just kind of take a note in the beginning and say the reason why I haven't made a video yet, because I want to sit on this for a bit first. So I wanted to just review this with you guys, walk through my process, but I still want to give it another 2 weeks, so have a full month of me sitting on these products to make sure I don't have any regret. Because what I tend to see in a lot of declutter videos is that people declutter too quickly, they do it too aggressively, and then they end up regretting it and they end up bringing it back into their collection anyway. So one, you're wasting time, and two, you're wasting money. And again, just for me, it would frustrate me because I literally just let it go and then I'm bringing it back. So just for my own mental peace, I'm going to give myself another 2 weeks before I decide what to do with it. I'm very likely just gonna sell this on Mariah. Okay, and this is likely going to be 2 videos because I don't want this to be too long, but we'll see how it goes. But this might be 2 videos. All right, so let's just hop in. So here we have the, well, technically this isn't a perfume, but this is the heart off of the Ariana Grande Thank You Next perfume. I am in love with the perfume, not so much this low-key tacky, so I'm just going to throw this away. Next up here, I'm just grabbing randomly. Here we have Versace Crystal Noir. This is the EDP version. Okay, so here, this is my struggle with this one. Yeah, it is peppery, it is soapy, it is deep and it's dark, and I see that a lot of people say that this is like, men love this perfume. I think it's a nice perfume. And I worn it a couple of times, maybe 2 times. You can see there's a little bit of it down here. I don't know if you can see that. See that? It's right over here, around that much. So I really did give it a go. But it's been sitting there since last winter. And even last winter was kind of, I was really struggling to wear it. And again, it's nice. It has fig, it has that ginger, it has that powdery, I'm assuming it's the iris, pepper. And I love pepper in my fragrances. I do appreciate iris, but somehow I'm not getting the coconut. It's not doing anything for me. And I usually have a really good antenna for what drives men crazy in terms of perfumes and what they appreciate. And I find it personally, just between me, you guys on the internet, that I find it really hard to believe that men find this like an aphrodisiac, unless they subjectively have a personal memory with it from their own life. But objectively, when a person would smell it on a test, I find that a little bit hard to believe. Just let me know if you agree with me. I just find, if you're familiar with this scent, I mean, it's nice, but it's hard for me to believe that this is a man magnet. But that's not the reason why I'm letting it go, because I like what I like. But for me, it doesn't do anything for me. And it just sits there, and there's just so many other things I would rather wear than this. And I really did give it a good go. So this is very likely, if I don't change my mind in 2 weeks, this is going to go bye-bye. So we're just going to put that over there. All right, next one up, we have Prada Candy. And you can see, again, I really gave this a go last winter. This is a very powdery, let me spray this in the air. Yeah, it's powdery, it's caramelly, it's nice. And so for me, this is a little bit, if it's kind of hard to think maybe even to let this go, even if I don't use it. But because when I wasn't really able to afford perfumes, when I used to go into Sephora And I used to just look at all the perfumes, smell the perfumes, take samples of the perfumes because I couldn't afford it. So what I would do, oh my gosh, you guys are going to totally judge me for this, but what I used to do after work, because I couldn't afford all the fragrances I wanted, I went into Sephora and then I would get 5 samples for the work week ahead. So I would pick out 5 designer fragrances, get samples of them, and the people in Sephora were really nice, really kind, never judged me, at least not, I never felt judged by them. And we get 5 samples, one for each day of the week. So like on the outside, nobody knew I was struggling, right? I smelled amazing every week and I pretty much memorized every scent in Sephora. Like I could actually, on a complete stranger, note what they were wearing just by memory. Like, oh, you're wearing so and so. But yeah, so the story with this, I always had my eye on the Prada. One, I love the Prada brand just for the clothes and the bags and the shoes, but for some reason, I think it was just a moment in time where I just kind of had this as like an emblem of, making money. Of course, this is a designer fragrance, but in my mind, somehow it just stuck to me that I really, really wanted to get this. So, I've just kind of held on to it, and it's a nice fragrance. It's more emotional for me than anything, that I didn't want to let this go. So this may not get dropped just for what it symbolizes to me, that I was finally able to, do what I want for myself. But yeah, so that's this. It's a nice powdery caramelly fragrance, and it is nice, but I barely reach for it. I mean, for me, again, this seems like a big dent, but for how long I've had it, it's really not much of a dent. So this is kind of a maybe, if the only reason I keep it would be simply for sentimental purposes, nothing more, nothing less. Okay, so this one is Escada Candy Love. This is candy apple and whipped cream, and I think vanilla. I wore this a few times. It's from the brand Escada. It is a pretty scent. Definitely more on the juvenile side, but I don't mind that because I appreciate fun scents, and this is fun to layer. I had fun with it, but I really don't reach for it. I reach for it maybe 2 times, if even that. And I really I liked the bottle at first. I thought it was fun, but now it's kind of low-key irritating me. And I'll tell you why, because it seems to be like an eyesore amongst all the absolutely elegant and sophisticated bottles that I have now. So it just simply seems like an eyesore to me in the backdrop. I mean, at some point I will do a perfume collection video, but it's always like in flux. So I don't think there's ever really a right time to do it, but it's definitely on my list of things to do. So when I do it, you'll understand what I'm talking about, that this would end up being an eyesore, this pink plasticky clunky thing amongst all the other pretty things. And that's kind of why I got rid of this too, because it just doesn't go with the whole vibe of my collection, the chic elegance. But yeah, so this is cute. And another thing, I want to know if anybody else is smelling this resemblance. Victoria's Secret just came out with a new tease, candy sugar or something. It was one in the pink bottle. It literally just got dropped. Does anybody else smell the resemblance between Escada Candy Love and that? When I smelled the dry down on the Victoria's Secret Sugar Floor, I think Sugar Floor or something like that, on my hand, it smelled. It was like a scratch in my brain that I couldn't get. I'm like, what does it smell like? Then I realized the dry down smells like Escada Candy Love. So I'm curious, does anybody else smell that as well? But anyway, so this is definitely a go-go. So this is for sure. This one. This one is Carmen Electra, or whatever it is. It's just R, but it's Carmen Electra, and this is like a really watered down, cheap. Yeah, a really watered down, cheap wannabe Juicy Couture scent. And I like my Juicy Couture. I have Juicy Couture Gold Couture, and to me this is a wannabe of that. And I have the big one of Juicy Couture Gold. I have a small one and a travel size, and this is just a wannabe version, and it's very chemically and synthetic-y, and I love affordable fragrances, but the thing is, you have to be discerning with the affordable fragrances, because you know, it still has to smell like quality. And I'm a believer that you can be a celebrity fragrance, you can be an affordable fragrance and still have quality. This is not that. This is not high quality. And it's not even worth the money at all. But I can see this being appropriate for maybe like a 13-year-old, because again, it smells like juicy couture, and I think this would be appropriate for a young girl who is only getting into perfumes like 12, 13, where you don't want your daughter or your sister to actually smell like a woman, or smell sexy. This would be appropriate for her. Okay, so if you have a sister, a nephew, excuse me, a niece, or nephew, whatever, that wants to get into perfumes, wants something a little fun, but you do not want them to smell like a woman, like sexy, I would recommend you get this for them. So that's Carmen Electra. Okay, this one next up, we have Gold Rush, excuse me, not Golden Rush, Gold Rush by Paris Hilton. This is a cashmere creamy perfume. I believe there's bergamot in here and maybe mandarin, but mostly it's a creamy scent. It doesn't last more than 1 hour. You have to constantly reapply it. Again, it's nice, but over it. And again, this bottle is kind of an eyesore amongst all the other perfumes that I have now. And while I appreciate the bottle, I think it's cute. The smell is cute. And you can see I gave it a go last month if you watched my review. My monthly review of perfumes, and yeah, you know, I'm not in love with it. It's cute, but I'm not in love with it, and over it. So this is gonna go. It's cute, but I'm over it. And now this one here. So this one is from my favorite perfumers, Honorine Blanc. This is Beyond Romance. It's the flanker of the original Romance, and this is a very, very, very sweet scent. Oops, sorry for that loud sound. Very sweet scent. This is very sugary, very sweet, very dense. I'm not truly letting this go because I have the travel size of this in my travel size collection. So in effect, I'm not truly letting this go. But right now, I struggle to reach for it. I reached for it a lot in the spring, but not so much since then. And it's really beautiful. It really is. I'm smelling it again over here. And I love the bottle. I think it's cute. I think it's pink. I think it's simple. I think it's chic. But I don't know. It doesn't do anything for me. Like, I like it, but I'm not crazy about it. Does that make sense? And I really did give it a go. Like, you can clearly see the dent. Well, it's a healthy dent, right? It's a healthy dent. But yeah, there's just so much that I would rather wear, and it just sits there and it sits there and it sits there, and yeah, so this is on the chopping block, and hopefully I will find it a better home than with me. Okay, so this one I am struggling with, and I'll explain to you why. I am not in love with this, and not even a little bit. At first, when I first smelt it, I was like, what in the world is this? It is way too cloying, way too sweet. Did not like it. Then I sat almost for a year. Okay, maybe not a year. Maybe like 7-8 months in my perfume collection. Oh, sorry. This is Ellis Girl of Now Shine. So I got this off the perfumer Soki London. That's her name. So Soki London. She was reviewing pineapple fragrances, and she had recommended this. And so I was on a search for a pineapple fragrance. Anyway, I by the way, I ended up finding on my own a really good pineapple fragrance. So don't feel bad because I got a really good pineapple one. But it was just not what I was expecting. And yeah, and based off all the other perfume profiles that I like, Fragrantica kept telling me that I would appreciate Girl of Now, the original by Ellis. But when I got this, I did not like it. I put it on my skin and I was like, yep, not feeling this. Too sugary, too sweet. And I love sugary sweet scents, but it was to the point of it being cloying, and I did not appreciate it. Then I tried it again this month. I patch tested it. I layered it, and I was able to layer it and make it work. But I was like, God, this is way too much work for me to like a bloody fragrance when I have over 100 fragrances that I'm nuts about. Does that make sense? So while this is cute, and I've grown to kind of like it, but I have to go through way too much effort for me to actually like it, because I found a layering combination that actually works. And that's what Vanilla Vibes by Julie. It has again another fragrance that I do not like, that people are nuts about, and I just does not work with me. But I notice when I put both of the things that I do not like together, it works. But for me, it's just too much work, too much thinking, and I have over 100 things that I love, so it doesn't make sense to struggle with something that I kind of only like. And I'm worried that if I let it go, and then I would regret it. But you know what? I don't see that happening. It's been a year that I've had this in my collection, and there's like basically no dent in here. It's too much of a struggle. And I would rather find it somebody who would love it, love it, love it. Because I know this is like a cult. People like love Ellis Girl of Now and its flankers. So I really hope I'm going to find this a good home. Here. I'm not going to spray this in the air. This is Adam Levine. I think this is called For Her. Yeah, I think it's literally just called Adam Levine. So the story with this one, I love saffron in my perfumes. And I discovered this about myself years ago. But about a year ago, I realized that I found out that this had a saffron note in this. And that was the only reason why I purchased Adam Levine. Oh gosh, I hope you guys were able to hear me this whole time. Adam Levine, I'm assuming this is for her because of the saffron note. And when I smell it, the atomizer is broken. Yeah, it's broken, but I can still smell it. It's just not for me. It's too vintage and too dense, and I'm starting to appreciate dense scents, but like a a very sophisticated, complex scent. Like Pascal Morabito Sultan Noir, like that's a dense scent, but it's complex, it's sophisticated, it's elegant, it's layered, it's complex. This to me is just kind of like dense in a I haven't put much thought in it way, more of like a clunky dense than a sophisticated dense. I hope that makes sense. And the saffron note in here doesn't do anything for me. I can appreciate where they were trying to go with this, but it did not hit the mark, and this is a big no for me. But I know that this other people like, so hopefully, I can figure out how to fix the atomizer and give it to somebody that loves it. And the next one up, again, this was another struggle with me. This is Azaro Girl of Now. Azaro Wanted Girl of Now, or something to that effect. It has a dulce de leche note, and it is pretty. And I like the ingenuity of like it looking like you're pulling a trigger. Look at that. And I even like the atomizer. And it is such a pretty scent. It is. But again, I don't reach for it. Look at that. That dent is not denting for me. And again, it's been over a year. And again, I tried to layer it and I made it work, but I'm like, again, too much work for me to put into something that I never reach for. I reached for it once, that's it. And I wasn't feeling it. Like, it's a pretty nice scent, and this is a good beginner scent. Okay, so let me back up here. This is a great beginner scent if you're first coming into perfumes. When your receptors aren't so in tuned, would be great because this is sweet, it's simple, it's not offending, it is a projector, it does last. That dulce de leche note is true to the name. It's caramelly, it's sweet. This is a mass-pleasing scent, and I 100% see why. But I'm not only curating my collection, I'm also curating my taste in terms of I want to push the boundaries of where my nose can go. I want to push the boundaries of where my mind can go. I want to push the boundaries of the elements and the notes my nose is able to pick up on. I want to expand my journey and where perfumes can take me to. And, while as nice as she is and as pretty as she is, it's not for me. So again, this is Azaro Girl Wanted. And again, definitely recommend it, but it's just not for me from where I am right now. And the next one up is JLo Miami Glow, I believe. Yeah, Miami Glow, correct. Yes. Okay, so now this has passion fruit, this has coconut, this is super beachy, and I love coconut scents, but I do not like coconut beachy scents. I like creamy coconut. This is not that. This is like I've been slapped in the face with suntan, and that is not my vibe. It is really sharp. It is really synthetic-y. And while I appreciate strong projecting scents, this is a slap. This is not a caress. This is a slap in the face, and I don't like it. It's chemically strong, and I really did try spraying it a couple of times. And well, also, you know, it wasn't filled all the way to the top. Growing up, I think when I was just graduating from high school, my mom had bought me like a Jennifer Lopez, or I was entering the college around that time. My mom had bought me a Jennifer Lopez perfume, my first one. So I have a good memory of it. So when I heard the YouTuber Ksenia talk about it, and she went on and on and on and on about it, and she was raving about it. So I was like, oh, great, you know? Okay, so I had a good impression of JLo fragrances, at least in my mind. But this is a big no. Low-key gives me a headache. So this is a huge, huge no. But I know this, again, has a cult following. So hopefully this can find a better home. And I kept the bracelet. Oh, and for most of these, by the way, I also have the box for majority of these. Not all of them, but majority of the perfumes I'm decluttering, majority of them I have the boxes for it. So the next one up, we have Perry Ellis. This is Orchid 18. This is a dewberry heavy scent. It's sweet. It's not offensive. It is what you would just reach for every single day if you're going to the, excuse me, but the top fell off. Okay, apparently I can't do anything here. Okay. Oh, excuse my PJs. Excusez-moi. Okay, so yeah, this is a non-offensive dewberry scent. It's cute. It's pretty. It's all right. Again, this I think would be a good starter fragrance. It's relatively cheap. Yeah, I think it's like about $30 something dollars. And again, you can see that this dent is indenting. And I even tried layering it with, what was it? The skull perfume that I had with the dewberry note and patchouli. Good Girl, I think it's called. Police to Be, Sweet Girl, right. I paired it with Sweet Girl by Police to Be, which is the pink skull in my collection. And again, it's cute, it's simple, it's not long lasting, but it's like I'm running to the bodega, I'm running to the store kind of situation. But again, so many other things for me to love that it's just not my thing. So I will be giving this one a new home. Okay, and the next one up, we have, this one's a heavy bottle, so I'm not going to carry it by the cap. This is Mariah Carey Pink Luscious. So the one that everybody goes crazy for was the one in the purple bottle. I think it's Mariah Carey M. But yeah, I purposely go against the grain sometimes. Because I noticed there was an incense note, and I don't know, it just didn't appeal to me. But these notes appealed more to me. I think there's like a Bellini note in the beginning, but it's more like light. There's bergamot, it's citrusy, it's light. And again, this is a very pretty fragrance. Let me spray it again. It's very pretty. I even like the bottle. I think it's low-key cute, you know? Spray that in the air. Yeah, it's very refreshing. And for me, it lasts on my skin for several hours. I mean, it does not project very far, but it literally stays on my skin for quite a few hours, like at least 4 to 5 hours. I can smell it on my skin. People say they don't smell it, but I do, because they're like, oh, I put it on, and I like the Fragrantica reviews, like, oh, I put it on and then I can't smell it. That wasn't the case for me. I smelled it on my skin, and every time I moved my arm, I did catch whiffs of myself. So I cannot say that that was my experience. Does it project? Absolutely not. But can you smell yourself? Can you smell it on your skin? Can somebody in your intimate space smell it? 100%. At least, again, my experience. For me, my skin did not just like absorb it and poof and it was gone. This is a very pretty fragrance. It's an out the shower fragrance. I'm in the house fragrance. Again, love it. But again, the whole situation again with Escada Love, when I just sat back and I just, you know, did a bird's eye view for my collection, and it just didn't fit where I was going. So we have to find this new home. So we're gonna have to fly away right over there, birdie. Thank you. Okay. Next one up. We're gonna cut this short in 5 minutes, and we'll save this for another day. So next one up, we have Dolce Gabbana Le Patrice. This is a tangy watermelon scent with rhubarb, I believe. And again, this is nice. I wore this last summer, but not since then. And I'm actually a fan of the cap. I like the fact that it has these ridges to give you friction when you open it. I actually appreciate that little detail. But again, I haven't reached for it since last summer. Not this past summer, like literally last summer. And I appreciate the bottle. It's simple, it's simplistic. And look at that pink liquid. I mean, I like simple bottles like this because you can really just appreciate the beautiful liquid that's in there. That pink, beautiful liquid. Look at that. It's really pretty to look at. But again, it's been over a year since I reached in. What is it, Marie Kondo? If it's in the last 6 months you really haven't reached for it, it's got to go. So for this, it's as much as I like this pink liquid, it's got to go bye-bye. So again, Dolce Gabbana, Le and Patrice. Okay, so we're going to do one more. So let me think about this. Okay. So this one we have Angel from Mugler. Yeah, this is a big no for me. This is a big, big no. This evokes, I don't know how, but it evokes very bad memories in me. I guess somebody, when I was growing up, wore this around me. And one, I don't like the scent objectively. It smells really weird, almost like low-key cat pee. I don't know what it is. And I'm a fan of patchouli, but to my nose, that this patchouli is not well blended at all. And I'm so grateful. I'm thoroughly grateful that I got the travel size, and I'm more grateful that this was not my first experience with Mugler. My first experience with Mugler was Angel Nova, the pink star that I blind bought off of an advertisement that was directed toward me when it was first released. I was one of the people who first bought it, and I am so grateful. You have no idea that that was my first experience with Mugler, and only because of that amazing experience of Mugler Nova that I gave this a go with the travel size, because I kept hearing reviews of people saying, oh my God, that was before I was even watching YouTube reviews. This was just simply like Fragrantica reviews and Sephora reviews that people were going crazy over Angel Nova. And even I knew of the name Angel Nova, right? Literally people around me knew about it. But I am so grateful, beyond grateful. This was not my first experience, because if this was my first experience, I probably would never have even thought to touch Angel Nova. And Angel Nova is literally one of my top 10 for life. So I'm super grateful that this was not my experience. And funny thing, like I was, I think reading or listening to something somewhere, probably reading that Angel Provocateur, Angel, what is it? Yeah, Agent Provocateur, the red bottle. It has licorice like this. And I really love Agent Provocateur, the red bottle. I'm totally blanking on the name right now. But like I read somewhere that somebody said this reminds them of Angel by Mugler. And now I can't get it out of my head. And now it's kind of skewing my version, my view of Agent Provocateur. So, but that's a whole nother thing. But yeah, so this is a huge, huge no. Don't like it. Bad memories. All the things. So this got to go bye-bye. Okay, so just a quick overview. This is what we'll be letting go. So this is part one. We still have all of this to go, but I'm not going to hold you guys up because we're already at 27 minutes. So just a review. We have Ellis, Girl of Now Shine. Azaro, Wanted Girl of Now. Adam Levine, I'm assuming this is for her. Perry Ellis, Orchid, 18. We have Carmen Electra. We have Gold Rush by Paris Hilton. We have Prada Candy, and what we just talked about, Angel by Mugler. Versace EDP. Versace Crystal Noir EDP. JLo Miami Glow. JLo Glow Miami, whatever. Mariah Carey Pink Luscious. Escada Love. Beyond Romance by Ralph Lauren, and Le and Patrice by Dolce Gabbana. So these are on the chopping block for sure, except this one. I might keep this based on nostalgia, but we'll see how the next 2 weeks go. But the rest are for sure bye-byes, and we will review this at another time. The leftover items in here, we still got quite a bit to go. And thank you for being here with me, my friend. I hope you guys enjoy this. Please let me know what you will be decluttering. Let me know if I'm decluttering any of your favorites. And also, just talk to me. The reason why I started a YouTube channel is because no one around me is into fragrances like I do. So I wanted to create a community. I wanted to find some friends so we can literally chit chat and nerd out about fragrances. And just a gentle reminder, make sure you take a time to thank somebody today, even if for something small. And more importantly, take a moment to thank God. Because if you're here watching this video, that means we made it into yet another day. And even with our trials and tribulations, God is great. Thank you, my friend. Bye.